Hey, yo, let me ask you a question, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I know, you know, we brothers, man, and you've had a lot of loss in your life. Talk to me about Mikey, man. How did his passing really play, or how did he really influence you in your life, and
Mm-hmm.
what was the passing? How did that affect you?
So Mikey was my everybody know, if you know me, you know how I grew up. It was like, it was a hard way to grow up. So
Uh,
I grew up with like maybe 12 or 13 children and 4 adults in a
uh,
3 bedroom, well, 2 bedroom apartment with a den
uh,
in Irvington, New Jersey. So Mikey's mother and my mother are sisters. Mikey mother has a mental illness. She has it's the schizophrenia.
uh,
I forgot the whole diagnostic. And my mother at the time wasn't really showing signs, and we both come from teen moms. His mother had him at 15, 16. My mother had me at 18, 17, 18 years old. You get what I'm saying?
uh,
And my mother's the younger sister. So naturally, Mikey and my mother were like brothers and sisters, because she was 15 when he was born, or 14 when he was born, and he was already, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's a
So about
close.
time
That's
he was
close.
18, my mother was 18. I was just born. My mother, he's 3.
Right,
You get what I'm saying? So he was like my older brother coming up. You know
right,
what I mean?
right.
So as we got older, I started gang banging when I was like 13, between 12 and 14, and he wasn't really with it. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? And life took a turn differently for him, but he always sold drugs, because that's the only way we seen. That's one thing that we kind of like seen in common. We was the poor side of all my whole family. My side where I lived at, we was like really the poorest. So that kind of connected us and always kept us together, the
uh,
streets. You get what I'm saying? So
uh,
when I was 16, 17, I got emancipated. I had my own spot to live at, had my own apartment, and he just came home from prison.
uh,
So when I was 17, I told him to come move with me. We moved in Bayonne. We locked in. But this is where I started to see things were a little different. We fighting each other, you know what I mean, physically.
you and Mikey?
Yeah.
I got you. Got you.
And he's so much bigger than me
I'm
at the
about to say
time.
Mikey joint,
Yeah, he
like,
was. Yo, I
man.
took a lot of losses in life. You know what I'm saying? It's hard, but just one thing that he always loved about me. He was like, bro, no matter how many times I fight you, if wasn't that you gonna say what you want, you just not afraid.
Right.
Fear just never lived here. So and he helped me. He grew me. It wasn't always like that when I was younger. It was guys he would fight for me, or in between when he seen that I was scared, and he'd make me fight. It just, I had to grow into life, growing that, and so that's my brother. So in 2020, amongst the years from the time we
Uh,
had to move,
uh,
just regular family and life stuff.
uh,
We kind of be apart, come back together, be apart, come back. That was the dynamic of our relationship every year or every
uh,
other year. It was just, just brother
right.
relationships. And he was just like on a different space in his life that I just didn't know he was at. And having these conversations with him were rough, and not knowing that, he got a mental illness was crazy. And it's right in front of me. Me and Buck, we was like, yo, he crazy, he crazy. And that's something that we would say. You get what
Yeah,
I'm saying? But it's nothing that we would ever really, you know what I'm saying? If you knew,
yeah,
everybody
yeah,
be like, oh,
yeah.
might get a little crazy or not, da da da. But we are laughing it off. It's a joke, right?
Right, right, right,
But it's not a joke, and it's not nothing that you should be playing with, and it's nothing
right.
that I should have just brushed under the rug. You know what I mean? And then that night he died, he left. I wasn't messing with him. One night he had maybe 3 or 4 nights before he died, maybe a week before he died, he was living with a chick, and I guess they got into like some type of fight, whatever, and then me and him wound up getting into a scuffle over it. And I told him, don't hit my line, don't hit my phone no more, don't talk, don't call me. You feel me? This is my brother, but this not the first time I did this, but it's been one of those moments.
Right.
And then so he was calling me for a week. I wasn't picking up. I just wasn't. I was trying to like, let this nigga suffer for a week or two, just
Right.
not answer
Right.
his calls. You feel me? But he don't know this. You feel me? So the nigga said he makes a phone call and called me like, yo, you ain't never got to worry about me. Just take care of my son. You know what I mean? Make sure you check on your cousin, da 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 da, and you check on my son, my nephew, and make sure flip good. This is what he say to me on the answering machine. So he says this on the answering machine, and then I wake up. I didn't hear that on the answer machine. You know what I'm saying? So I go to sleep, whatever. They let my day go past. This might have happened 2 days. He probably left that on the answer machine 2 days before he passed. So he left that on the answer machine. 2 days go past. Somebody banging on my door 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So I go get him, you know what I mean? That work, I'm still, you know what I mean? And come to find out it's his best man, Harold. That's like his brother. He like, yo, they just called me, said Mikey just died. And I couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I couldn't believe it. And he committed suicide in the shelter, locked himself inside like a area with just him. I think it's like a bathroom type of area inside the shelter in Brooklyn. Went all the way from here to the shelter in Brooklyn, and he killed himself. You know what I'm saying? So that shit kind of like you know, that shit took a toll on me, and it just was like a whole thing, and it had me looking at a lot of people different, and just not just a lot of people different. It had me looking at myself different. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I made a speech at my funeral. Like, I mean, it's not my funeral. You know what I mean? Let's not at his funeral.
Right.
You know what I mean? And my family was there, and I just said, you know what I mean? We all got problems, and we all have, you know what I mean, different ways of doing things, and our beliefs are all may be different. But one thing's for certain, that we all love each other, because if we didn't, why we showing up at these moments? So let's let it be more moments of these and not under these circumstances. You know what I'm saying?
When everybody there.
When everybody here, where we just show each other love, and you know what I mean? And then a lot of things happen, like just made me feel different. People were saying, oh, I'm gonna give you something towards the funeral. This is my first time going to the funeral. Nobody came up. None of my elders came up and walked me through it. You remember I had those conversations with you, and I had to call these people and call those people. Nobody to walk me through. You know what I mean? Me paying for a burial, I wound up spending $13,000. And I'm not saying I got jerk. I don't want to put the company out there because somebody put me on with them. But I wound up spending $13,000 on a cremation. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. I paid for a casket for a viewing. Shouldn't have did that. I just should have just stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you wanted to do the right thing.
I went the right thing. I paid for limousines. I paid, you know what I'm saying? Just mad different stuff. And Harold, you know what I mean? And a couple others took care of the repast. And his mother, Harold's mother, gave me some money towards it. But as far as my family, you know what I mean, the older people, they really just didn't do what I expected them to do in those moments. And it's not like I'm not angry at nobody, but it's just something that still weighs on my mind, and just something I still think about to this day. And just, I'm gonna say this, bro, if y'all see y'all family members and they struggling with in some type of way, and they might not be receptive to this conversation, sometimes you might gotta have an intervention with your family, especially us in the Black community, because I felt like that would have did something for me, because he was crying out for something that I couldn't give him. I couldn't give him togetherness. He wanted the family to be around a lot, and so on and so forth. And you wanted those. I couldn't give that to you because I can't. I don't have the time. Not only I don't have the time, I don't have. I could call everybody in this room and tell them it's your birthday, and only 4 niggas show up. I call 50.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just some things that's out of my control. You know what I mean? And he wanted. My grandmother died. She was the pillar. You know, my mother was a fiend, and she was in prison when I was younger. So, you know what I mean? She took care of both of us. So when she died in 98, it's 2020 when he died. He's still talking about 98 like as if it's present time, and he just couldn't get over it. 25 years, 26 years, whatever. Lady just couldn't get over that.
Gotcha.
You know, that my grandma died. And how it left us, and it just damaged our family, and it was just like a different roller coaster for our lives. And you know what I mean? That's what I would say, man. If you just pay attention to your people, man. And you know what I mean, we in a different space now. We got more information and more opportunities to get people help. You know what I mean? So that's it.
Yeah. I know he was very impactful in your life. So
very impactful.
I wanted to make sure we
love my cousin and missed him too.
I got one more question for you though, man.
Good.
Not to mean to cut you off and shit. So you even though you had a hard upbringing, right? You still tried to go the regular route as everyone else, right? Tried to go to college.
Absolutely.
Real estate classes and things like that.
Got my certificate.
No. But you're an entrepreneur now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what changed for you to not go the traditional route to then be an entrepreneur? Because not everybody's an entrepreneur, and everyone, you know what I'm saying? So
I think, I think when you coming from drug dealing and being successful at it at your level, I think that's the only way to go, because now not only do I make a certain amount of money, but it's the lifestyle.
Right.
So now I put more into my time than into what I'm actually doing. You figure a person like me, I'm gonna do whatever. Like right now, my money been funny, up and down. So what I'm gonna do? I was hesitant about it. I was talking to you and Names about it, and y'all was like, man, yo, get money. Who gonna laugh and be funny? I had to start driving Lyft to make things happen. You know what I mean? To make things go right, to pay some of my family bills. Cause who gonna give me $9,500 a month? You got $9,500 a month to give to me.
I'll
You
take
get
it.
what I'm saying? I take it. If not, so I had to start driving Lyft. I still got my shop. I still got, the salon suite. I still got different businesses. I still be outside a little bit. I still do what I do. But in order for me to be there, I had to find this entrepreneurial spirit. And it started when we was 14 years old out there selling drugs.
Right.
And then figuring out ways to make it amongst 30 other dudes that standing on the same corner selling the same product.
How do you
You get what
stand
I'm
out?
saying?
Right. How do you
And
stand
how
out?
do I stand out and be successful amongst the 30? And I was just able to be successful amongst the 30 and figure out how to make people work with me. I don't like to say work for me, to work with me.
Yeah.
And then I could do other things while you work in this space where we can all be successful. And I understood how to feed people. And I knew I was a leader young, but it's just figuring out how to lead is one thing, like, you know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying,
For sure.
and then I had to. A lot of times they used to be saying to me, "Yo, you don't know how to be inclusive." I feel like now I'm starting to be. I've been more inclusive, probably not as much as I should, but I'm growing.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what
a
I'm saying?
process.